Hi. Okay, so I'm doing a review on Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. So, it's pretty good. It's really good. I finished it about a week ago. The good thing is that they find out that Snape is not Voldemort and Quirrell is, and yeah. But you should read it if you haven't read it. Just so you know, Quirrell is Voldemort, Professor Quirrell, yeah. The movie was also pretty good too. And I like how Hagrid puts a pigtail on Dudley, which is pretty funny. But yeah. And this picture right here is a picture of Professor Quirrell. And the reason why he's wearing a turban is because on the back of his head he has Voldemort's face. Let's see, he's really Voldemort. And yeah, but I'll prove that he's Voldemort. I can go to the chapter where Harry Potter says it was you, Voldemort. Just gotta find it. So yeah, he also plays Quidditch. Quidditch is pretty cool. And yeah, so I gotta find it. So they do have to go through like this giant maze and stuff. But yeah, okay, so I'll read the last chapter. Wait, no. I'll read the first chapter for you guys so you guys can see what it's like. And yeah. Well, I'm going to read the first 3 pages. Mr. and Mrs. Dursley of number 4 Private Drive. We're proud to say that they were perfectly normal. Thank you very much. They were the last people you'd expect to be involved in anything strange or mysterious, because they just didn't hold with such nonsense. Mr. Dursley was the director of a firm called Grunnings, which he made drills. He was a big, beefy man with hardly any neck, although he did have a very large moustache. Mrs. Dursley was thin and blonde and had nearly twice the usual amount of neck, which came in very useful as she spent so much of her time craning over the garden fences, spying on neighbors. The Dursleys had a small son called Dudley, and in their opinion, there was no finer boy anywhere. The Dursleys had everything they wanted, but they also had a secret, and their greatest fear was that somebody would discover it. They didn't think they could bear if anyone found out about the Potters. Mrs. Potter was Mrs. Dursley's sister, but they hadn't met in several years. In fact, Mrs. Dursley pretended she didn't have a sister because her sister and her good-for-nothing husband were as un-Dursley-ish as it was possible to be. The Dursleys shuddered to think that what the neighbors would say if the Potters arrived on the street. The Dursleys knew that the Potters had a small son too, but they had never even seen him. This boy was another good reason for keeping the Potters away. They didn't want Dudley mixing with a child like that. When Mr. and Mrs. Dursley woke up on the dull gray Tuesday, our story starts. There was nothing about the cloudy sky outside to suggest that strange and mysterious things would soon be happening all over the country. Mr. Dursley hummed as he picked out his most boring tie for work, and Mrs. Dursley gossiped away happily as she wrestled a screaming Dudley into his high chair. None of them noticed a large tawny owl flutter past the window. At 8:30, Mr. Dursley picked up his briefcase, pecked Mrs. Dursley on the cheek, and tried to kiss Dudley goodbye, but missed. Because Dudley was now having a tantrum and throwing his cereal at the walls. "Little tyke," chortled Mr. Dursley as he left the house. He got into his car and backed out of number 4's drive. It was on the corner of the street that he noticed the first sign of something peculiar: a cat reading a map. For a second, Mr. Dursley didn't realize what he had seen. Then he jerked his head around to look again. There was a tabby cat standing on the corner of Private Drive, but there wasn't a map in sight. Okay, so that was me reading the first 2 pages. Well, that's the first 2 pages of the illustrated one. It's probably the first 4 pages in the actual one. But there's someone that wants to talk to you. His name is Mr. Police Officer. No, his name is Mr. Chef. I have to get him. I need to. Yeah, he's coming. He's coming. He's gonna tell you how good this book is. Okay, I'm gonna step away, and he's gonna stay here. Hi, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone is so good. I've read it like 5 million times already. It is so good. You should really read it. Buy the book. It's only $26.99. Yeah. Yeah, buy it today. Buy it today. Buy it. Okay, guys, he's done, but we have another visitor, another person. She's on her way. Shut. Hiya. Yo. Pie is delicious. Hey, can you tell me about Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone? Yes, it is very good. You should read it. Well, what is it about? It is about a kid named Harry, and he gets an exception letter to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Yeah, basically what it's about. Is there anything more you want to add? No, not really. What else happens? Well, there's someone dressed up as Voldemort. Well, there's a Voldemort dressed up as someone, and I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I'm not naming names, but his name is Professor Quirrell. And yeah, don't spoil the book for people! Well, I want to. Get out of here! Sorry about that. She's a spoiler. I sent the cops to arrest her for spoiling stuff. Oh, that's the cops there. I gotta tell them her name. Yes, I am here. I'm here. What do you need? What is her name? Her name is Veronica, and she's a spoiler. Stop eating my microphone. I want you to taste delicious. Oh. Okay, I'll go get her. Bye. Okay, bye. I'll see you later. Bye. Okay, good thing that is done. Oh, I really want some cake. Okay, bye.